Okie dokie. These are the tools you will need to replace a louver. Starting from the right, you're going to need some super glue. You're going to need a hammer, a pencil, a thin blade putty knife, preferably around an inch or inch and a half. Make sure that the blade itself doesn't have any chunks of spackle or paint from previous jobs, or that will scratch your style when you remove the louver pin. You're going to need some eye protection. You're going to need a staple. In case you're not familiar with the nomenclature of a staple, you're going to need 18 gauge, which refers to how thick the wire is, 1/4 inch crown, which refers to how wide it is across, and 1/2 inch long. If it's longer than that, that's fine. You'll need to cut it to 1/2 inch, but that's no big deal. You have your louver pins. This is a regular louver pin, and this is a spring-loaded replacement louver pin. You're going to need some nice wire cutters. Generally, the cheap wire cutters are very difficult to cut these 18 gauge staples. These are Crescent. DeWalter, also a nice brand to get. Needle nose pliers. I prefer to use this kind, but if you only have these will work easily also. And that is a list of all the tools you will need. Welcome from Exus Shutters. My name is Michael, and we're going to do a tutorial on how to replace a louver. We're going to use this as our example, this old shutter, and we're going to replace this louver. To do that, we're going to clip that louver off right here, cut it here, take it off, prepare the louver, and then put the new one on. So, let's put on our eye protection. When you do this, come on over here, Ray, so we can see a little bit closer. You want to try and get as far this side as you can. And then you give it a nice hard whack, and off it comes. Get yourself your wire cutters, and we're going to trim this staple that's on the louver, not on the tilt rod. We want the staple on this, not on the tilt rod. We're going to trim it twice. Once here, and once here. Now when you trim this thing will fly off, and that's why you need your eye protection. See? It just hit me in the face. Pull this off. There you go. Now we have to prepare this louver. Say we're putting this louver back on. We've got to take these staples out. I didn't mention it, but you're going to need a thick piece of cardboard. Otherwise, when you put this on and pry it up, you're going to mar your louver, so we don't want to do that. You put this on and grip it gently. You don't want to trim that off flush. Just pull it out. Pull the other one out. Second step, we'll leave this one in, and we have to take off the old. We just put that on and very gently pull that off. There you go. We also have to take the old one out of here and just pop that out. Okay? This is the spring-loaded louver pin. It's right here. If you get too close, Ray, I'm thinking it may not be able to, it might not focus. Okay? And you just put that in here. Okay, Ray? When you put this on, you want to mark this ever so gently with your pencil on both sides, just that way in case you turn it around. If you do it real light, you can wipe that right off. We're going to put this on here. Stick this part in first, and then you come over here and you can see why you mark that, because now you know where the louver pinhole is. You push that in all the way, slide it on, and then you just kind of move it around until you hear it click, and it's on. Bam! Now we're going to do the last part and put the louver staple in. Get your needle nose pliers, super glue. Now you don't have to be too rushy about this part, because super glue won't set until you have an absence of oxygen. Just a tiny dab will do you. Just like that. If you get some on a table, if you put some on a little piece of cloth, you can just dab it in. That's more than enough. Okay? You get your hammer, put it on a place where you can grasp it in case you need it, and very carefully stick that through into the hole. And most of the time you'll be able to press that down until you feel it seating firmly. If it's very tight, you can use your hammer and tap it. It'll go right in. Guess what? I just replaced the louver. It's videoing now. Now, in the event you cut this so that the louver pin, let's not get too close or you won't focus there. The louver pin gets cut off shear. Sometimes you can't grab it. So what you do is you get yourself a small screw. This is a little bigger than normal, than you'll normally need. A small, very small diameter screw. You put it in, screw it in a little, and it'll pull out. There you go. The smaller the diameter of the screw, the easier this is to do. This is way too big for that, so it's a little bit difficult, but a small one, maybe a 1/16 inch screw will work fine. And that is all you need to know.